What's going on, my friends? For today's watch review, we're taking a look at a brand new release from Casio. This is a new version of the beloved A1000. This is a collaboration between a company called Rag & Bones. I honestly don't know anything about Rag & Bones, but what I do know is I love steel digital watches with sapphire crystals. I'm excited to say that I think I'm one of the first people to cover this watch, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we do, quick wristwatch check. I'm rocking an Invicta Pro Diver. This is also a new model. I'm very excited to wear this one. It's beautiful. And of course, as always, I will put a review out as soon as I'm done testing it out. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Before we get started with this review, I want to make it perfectly clear that I completely understand that this is what you would call a hype piece. I do think that it is overhyped. I do think that it's overpriced. So I just want the viewers to know that I'm coming into this review fully aware of that. But if you are coming into this review, and you fully understand what this watch is and what it isn't, then I think we'll be okay. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start with price. You can find this online for $250. I spent $260 out the door. That includes taxes and shipping and everything. And like I said before, yes, I do think it is overpriced. And yes, I fell for the hype. If you sell me a brand new Casio digital watch, no matter what the price is, I'm gonna be interested in it because I am a blind Casio fanboy and proud of it. At that price, do I think you should get it? Probably not. Let people like me overpay for it, get bored with it, and then sell it online secondhand for a ridiculous discount. But with that being said, I don't see myself getting tired of this watch because I absolutely love it. So I don't think you're gonna see any ridiculous discounts from me. Now let's go ahead and take a look at those dimensions and weight. Feel free to pause at any time to write those down. Just like with any A1000, it's beautifully thin. It is the perfect size for a sports watch, for a casual watch, and just to do your day-to-day activities. Now for the general information, starting from the outside, I'm working our way in. So you've got a stainless steel body or case and bracelet, which I think is fantastic. Usually with these watches, you've got like this chrome colored plastic case, but in this case, you're getting steel and you can feel that immediately out the box. It's not ridiculously heavy, but it feels dense and solid. And to me, I equate that with quality. On the inside of that case, we have a sapphire crystal, another fabulous addition. And then 3 pushers, so 1 on the right side, 2 on the left side, and then on the other side we've got a case plate affixed to the case by 4 Phillips head screws. And all of this is going to give you just water resistance, so I do not recommend taking this into the pool, just light hand washing, maybe in the shower. So basically just keep it away from water and you will be fine. For the functions and features, starting off with the main display, you've got your calendar data up at the top, your main time, and then your running second hand. You can alternate between 24-hour and AM/PM time just by pushing this button here on the right. So there you can see the 24-hour symbol disappeared, telling you that it is now in AM/PM mode. I like to keep mine on 24-hour mode. On the bottom left, you've got your mode pusher. So here, just like any A1000, you've got alarm, stopwatch, adjust mode, and back to main time. Very bare bones set of features, and I absolutely love that. For me, when it comes to digital watches, the simpler you can make it, the better it is. And the top left pusher is going to be your backlight. So let's go ahead and see some footage in a dark room. I think it's great. I love this style of backlight, and I've got no complaints here. Taking a closer look at the dial or display, it's sort of like a negative display here, and it's not the best, it's not ideal. So in the sunlight, you are gonna have to angle the watch to get a clearer picture of the time. But for the overall color scheme, I think it fits, and it is sharp enough to see on your regular lighting. So I really got no complaints there. However, they could have done a better job of making it more visible. It's your typical layout for an A1000, but in this case, you've got the Rag & Bones logo right there, and then also you have it labeled on the bottom here. I'm not sure what Rag & Bone is. I guess it's some type of fashion company. This is honestly the very first time I've heard of Rag & Bone, but whatever. I think overall the display looks good, so I've got no complaints with the added logo and the text at the bottom. I really love the subtle lines here. So you've got like squares or rectangles with the corners angled, and it gives you that beautifully retro 80s futuristic look. And for me, you just can't ever get too much of that. The fact that the bezel area is also slightly raised from the main case gives the watch this beautiful depth to it, and it also just adds to that sort of retro futuristic look that I absolutely love. Taking a look at the bracelet, we've got a 5-piece Jubilee style bracelet here. I think it looks sharp. I think it looks clean. The clasp is just a stamped steel clasp. I do like stamped steel clasps. I don't like how they did it here. You can make a stamped steel clasp look good. In this case, it's flat, dull, and boring, but it works. So I guess the criticism is all subjective. It's my personal opinion. So yeah, my opinion is that they could have made it better. As far as the function goes, it is a dual push button to point clasp, and to that end they did a great job. You've also got the Rag & Bones logo on the clasp here, giving you that Rag & Bones character, and I've got no issue there. I like it. It adds a nice little touch to the overall style. And a quick FYI, the adjustment system is the pin and collar system. So I know a lot of you don't like that because it is more complex than your cotter pins or screw pins. I prefer pin and collars. I think it's more reliable and a safer form of keeping the bracelet secure, but I just think you should know, if you've never done the pin and collar adjustment system before, just do some research on it before you try to adjust it yourself. Quick little side story, the very first time I came across a pin and collar system, I had no idea what it was. I didn't know what the collar was. I didn't even know the collar existed. So when I put the bracelet together and I put the pin in, everything was super loose and it was secure enough to wear, but then the next day as I was going about my day, my bracelet literally just fell apart on my wrist and I thought I got a dud. You know, I thought I was ripped off, and turns out I was just an idiot and I didn't know about the collar that needed to be there. But anyways, moving on. Now let's take a look at the Caseback. As we saw before, it is just a Caseback plate affixed to the case by 4 Phillips head screws. It's your standard Casio boilerplate engraving or labeling on the back there. I don't have too many complaints here, although at this price and at this level of quality, I think it would have been so cool if they had a screw down Caseback. But it is what it is, and this is what it looks like. Now taking a look at the fit and finish, it's fantastic. Everything about this watch feels solid and dense, and I love the color tone here. I don't know what it's called. It could just be gunmetal. Feel free to educate me in the comment section if you know the official name of this color. To me, it's like gunmetal and something else, like a desert gray. Either way, it looks fantastic. It's different, it's unique, but not too much. You know, it's subtle enough to where it's really gonna fit with anything that you put it on, whether it's jeans or maybe something a little bit more business casual. And all in all, it looks clean. Plus, with the mixture of that negative display, you know, with a slight brown or tan digital color there, it all just fits together and ties in really well with each other. So that about covers the general information and everything else about the watch. It's just an A1000, so you can't really get too in depth with it. Talking about my personal opinions, I love it. It's an absolute blast, and it is overpriced. I think something very polarizing about Casio and G-Shocks are these hype pieces, these more fashion-centric pieces, because they're very cool, but they always overprice them. And I think it's based on hype, it's based on popularity. And the issue is, and you're not gonna like this, but people like me keep buying them. And I can't help it, you know? Once you show me a hype piece, I'm too much of a basic bitch to say no. And that's just the harsh truth. So with that being said, if you are like me, then I think you're gonna find a lot of value here. Not in like saving money, but value as in how much joy you're gonna get from something as cool as having an A1000 with a sapphire crystal and a steel case. To me, there's a lot of value in that. But if you're somebody who is trying to find value from, like, you know, having a solid movement, and a lot of bang for your buck, then you're just not gonna find that here. It's an A1000, you can get these anywhere. So my final opinion is going to be mixed. I do and I do not recommend it. Just kind of depends on the person you are. And really that determination can apply to every single watch that you look at. For now, my main goal for this video is just to show you guys, different angles of light on it and how it looks in the hand and on the wrist. And ultimately at the end of the day, it's up to you whether or not you want it or not. So other than that, I've got nothing else to say. I hope you enjoyed this review. Feel free to join any of my other social media groups. All of the links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.